Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to Cask 529. I'm joined again by Shona. I think this is getting to be a regular thing. And this evening, what we're going to do is we're going to do a taste comparison on 4 rye bourbons. Shona and I, neither one are really rye drinkers, so this is going to be probably as sincere as you're going to get, because we have no expectations, really. We've maybe tried a couple.
We can honestly say these 4 ryes that we're going to be trying are the first that have ever stepped foot into this house.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
So these are all brand new to us.
They are. And what makes a rye bourbon? A rye bourbon has to have at least 50% rye.
51%.
51% rye in the mash bill. And they have to be aged in a new charred oak cask. So that's where we're starting.
Yep. And tonight we're not doing it blind. We've lined them up the exact way that we are going to be tasting them from the Elijah Craig to Bulleit to Woodford to Knob Creek. So our first one we're going to be tasting is the Elijah Craig.
And is that down here?
It is,
okay.
Yes. So, from my understanding, according to Elijah Craig's website, their rye is 51% rye.
And
so,
94 proof.
And then it is 94 proof.
94 proof.
Yeah, it has what, 35% corn?
35% corn and 14% barley.
So, they just qualify as a rye bourbon with the 51% rye.
So it's going to be the second highest proof that we're going to taste tonight. There is 100 proof, but we're going to start with this one.
Smells good. I don't get a burn on the nose or anything. It's. Do you get when you're? Brian can't smell.
I can't smell, but I get senses. And see, I do get kind of an oakish, which you should, I believe.
Yes.
I mean, it's aged in oak, so.
Very sweet.
Very sweet.
Like a honey.
A heavy. I was going to say maple, but honey, and really heavy.
Oh,
A strong. I'm saying that flavor is really dominant.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pleasantly surprised, really.
Yeah.
I know it's our first one.
So this is 94 proof because
it's got great color to it.
You know, honey is the biggest thing I'm picking up. Of course, I can taste, a little bit of the oak.
The char. I mean, the char is definitely there, but it's not.
Yeah, not overpowering.
It's not overbearing at all. No.
Mm-hmm. I have to say, I'm pleasantly surprised. It's very good. I don't. Why have we always steered away from rye?
You know, I really think we had a rye somewhere, maybe at a party, and it just wasn't a flavor. I don't even know what.
Or maybe
I don't even know what the
tasted
bottle was
during a tour or something.
Yeah, it could have been, and you know, we're fairly new at bourbons, and we talked a lot this weekend about how our palates have changed. We had had 100 proof bourbon the other night on the patio, and it was still warm to us, but it wasn't as overbearing as what we used to think of as 100 proof. However, last week we had 104 proof, and we would pour it probably any time. It was really good. So it's all going to just depend on what all's in that mash bill, I think.
Yeah. Which one was the 104 proof that we had?
Um,
Sorry, I can't remember.
what was it?
I don't know. That's why I'm asking.
It was the rare breed, right?
Oh yeah, I
Rare
think it
breed.
is rare breed.
I believe that's 104.
Up the top.
No, I'm sorry. That's 116.
Yeah, and it was really good.
And we didn't. It was really good.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well,
Okay, so now we're going to move on to the Bulleit.
are you excited for this one? Because I know you love the.
Now,
Bulleit.
Bulleit is, just to let everybody know, Bulleit is very high rye. It's 95% rye in the mash bill, so this will be a real test for us, I think,
Yeah.
whether or not we can
And this is 90
the
proof.
rye. This is 90 proof. 5% malted barley.
I mean, I can't tell you what I'm picking up on the nose. It doesn't smell sweet.
I think you're going to be pretty surprised, really.
I think-
Now, to
Kind of
me,
smooth.
it's not actually as strong as what this one was. I don't
No.
believe. It's not what I feared out of a 95% rye.
No. I'm not really picking up a lot of flavors, so I'm trying to.
No, I'm not either.
I'm like this one, instant honey hit my tongue, and it was very, very delightful. I love honey, so that one was an easy one for me to pick out of there. This one I'm not really picking up.
This one is creamy.
Mm-hmm.
Almost buttery.
I'm not getting the true butter taste though, but creamy I agree with. Very pleasing. No burn.
No. No, very, very soft on the palate.
Maybe more of a berry, like various berries I'm picking up. I'm going to go like more of a berry, like it's not. I don't know. It's not blackberry.
I don't know, I almost get like a blueberry out of it.
It could like a sweeter.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's not the true proper, but it's,
Right,
it's
but
more of
that's-
a berry type flavor. I just
Yep.
can't recognize which one. All right.
So that was the highest of the rye. And the lowest of the proof, right? Yes, 90.
Oh, the ones we're going to be tasting tonight. Yes.
Woodford is 90.4.
Yeah.
And that's where we're going next. And it's 53% rye, so a whole lot less rye than what we just had.
But we do not know what else is in this one because Woodford didn't release their, at least from what I could find.
Right, Woodford does not release their mash bill, right?
Not that I could
And
find.
you find that also about the
Jim-
Knob Creek with
Right,
Jim Beam.
yeah. But we do know Woodford does have 53% rye. It does tell us that.
But the Knob Creek, we're not going to know that.
No.
Okay, so this is the Woodford.
Very distinct on the nose. I can tell it's a Woodford.
I was going to say, the sense that I get is, I get off Woodford.
Yeah, if I had a tray full of Woodfords, this would fit right in.
If this was blind, could
And-
you pick that out?
I'm
As a
not going to
Woodford?
say that because, however, I will say, if you've seen it, when Brian made me try to pick the Woodford, it watered my eyes.
It did.
This one's watering my eyes.
Yep.
And so I'm trying not to
So
get...
maybe you could, though. Maybe you could pick it out based on that.
Okay, here we go. Again, very smooth.
Just after the first taste, I would have to call that my favorite. It could be different on the second taste,
It could.
but that
so,
first,
So smooth.
it was.
Um,
There was no surprise at all.
Yeah. I'm trying to... Creamy, but a different type of creamy than this one.
I get honey out of that also.
Yeah, a little bit. You can definitely pick up a little bit of the char with the wood.
That is so.
Now I'd say this one has more of a buttery than this
See,
one.
and I was going to say that it is so mellow that it's almost like a maple syrup. I mean, there is almost no heat whatsoever there. In fact, if that was the first one we drank, there may not be any.
Very, very, very good. However, I'm a Woodford fan. Once we taste the Knob Creek, because I don't want to discount it yet, obviously. But I think I'm going to go back to Elijah Craig and compare it with the Woodford, because it may beat the Elijah may beat the Woodford for me.
Yeah, right now we haven't had them all yet. We
No.
still have one to go. I have a favorite, the least favorite order of the three we've had, but we have to do the Knob Creek,
Yes.
which is the one that we really have no info on.
Besides, it is the highest proof at 100.
Correct. It's 100 proof. So, without further ado,
And we know it has to be at least 51% rye.
right. Do they give any hints like it's high rye or?
No, they do not. And when I was researching it, a lot of spectators figured it had just enough to make it a rye. So low rye, like 51. Because on Knob Creek's page for this, it does say it has a high corn content.
Okay.
So I would say it's probably more the 51, maybe up to 53% rye, and maybe the rest corn, a little bit of barley maybe.
Now here's what's interesting. It's the highest alcohol. And there's no legs.
Oh yes, there's mine has legs.
Oh, I got some that time.
Yeah.
First time I didn't get anything out of it.
I
That's
definitely
the
smell
burn.
the burn.
That's the burn I've been looking for.
Whew. I can definitely tell it's a higher proof.
So, at the front of my palate, I was actually, once I finished with the taste, I was going to tell you nothing. But as it rolled back across my palate, it's warm.
Very warm. It's still warm on my tongue.
Yes.
Like my tongue is still kind of on fire.
Like the roof of my mouth is warm.
This is what tasting a rye reminded me of.
Yeah, that's what we feared out of the whole flight.
Correct.
Was that.
And not that we've ever had the Knob Creek rye, so it had to be a different rye that did this. This one just leaves a lingering burn on my tongue. Not saying it's a horrible tasting rye, it's just that after burn that just, and it's like down in here for me too, where none of the other ones like throat burn.
No, mine actually, the roof of my mouth, and I could almost feel it
Go down.
go down. Yeah, it's. Let me try a second taste because it, you know. And again, these were all brand new bottles tonight, so this is neck pour on all these. We did let them open up for probably about 15 minutes before we started, but you know, they could change now that we're down into the bottle, but I don't know that that's going to change that much. For me, it's really a shame because when you first put it on your palate,
I can taste honey.
it's a beautiful taste, really.
It is. But then it
Now, see,
overwhelmed with the fire.
Yeah, now I didn't get as much fire or heat on that second sip. I got the same sensation when it first hit my palate, but the heat changed. But now, let's talk price point on these a little bit. The least expensive of all these is actually the Bulleit at $24.99. And as we've said before, we're in Ohio, so we're paying retail. From the Bulleit, we go to actually the Elijah Craig at $32.99. And then from there we go to the Woodford at $36.99. And the most expensive, I guess, the bang for your buck is the Knob Creek at $39.99. So it comes in at basically $40. And we're not, like we said at the start, we're not rye drinkers. So maybe that's what a real rye drinker is looking for.
Yeah, if you want to.
It's not what we're looking for. We have what we enjoy, and it's down this way.
If you like breathing fire, I would go with Knob Creek.
Yeah, personally, if I was putting these in order from my favorite to my least favorite, I would take this Knob Creek and I'd put it down here, and that would be my order.
That'd be your first?
It would be Woodford would be my first. It would be Bulleit would be my second. Elijah Craig, and last would be the Knob Creek.
Okay.
That would be my order.
I'm not ready to do that yet because I wanted to go back and taste these two.
Okay,
remember?
that's fair. Before I try anything else, I'm going to try a third sip of that.
I love the honey that I get out of Elijah Craig. I love that. Take a drink.
Yeah, that Knob Creek just doesn't soften up that much for me.
So
At least
smooth.
that rye didn't do to you what the regular straight bourbon did a couple weeks ago to you.
Right, yeah. All right, so I'm ready to put mine in order. So, Woodford, for me, is number one.
Okay, agree.
Then Elijah Craig. Then the Bulleit.
So you're switching those up.
Yep. And then the Knob Creek.
See, for me, the Bulleit, if I had to think about the Woodford and anything, I'd have had to think that Bulleit was really smooth. And I thought when I first drank it that, without a question, that's going to be my favorite. Then we had the Woodford, and I thought that's just so smooth. But
Yeah, I can't say that
I honestly, I mean, I would gladly have a pour of any of these three.
Yes.
Really, and I don't know why we strayed away from rye.
Well, I think probably because...
We probably had Knob Creek at one.
No, I mean, and honestly, the first taste of Knob Creek, it's really good. It's that afterburn that I get. You know,
Oh,
other
right.
people may not get that.
You're right.
But to me, I don't want to sit around all evening with my throat on fire.
No, and this, guys, is just, this is how we see it.
Right.
You know, don't take recommendations from us, but don't base anything you're going to go out and buy solely on what we say. Because you may like that.
And all of these are at a price point where you shouldn't have, you probably won't feel guilty about going
Right.
and getting. But I mean...
And I would say if somebody is generally a high-proof bourbon drinker, they're probably going to like that.
Right. But there are some high proofs that we love.
Yeah, we didn't used to, though.
Right.
Yeah, we've learned, and I guess we've learned how to pick out.
Right. So I would say if you are newer to bourbons and at a lower proof point, I would probably start with the Bulleit. One, it's a low,
It's least
It's
expensive
90
to start
proof.
with.
and it's only $25, $24.99.
Yep.
And so it would be a really good starter.
And the surprise there was, it was the highest rye. It was 95% rye.
Yes. So,
But it was, my Bulleit
yep.
came through.
You love Bulleit, that's for sure. And now I know that we may or may not have talked about Manhattans. I know that the other night we did an episode on three
We did.
various Manhattans. And when I was talking, the classic Manhattan was always made with a rye, but you can also make it with any good quality American whiskey. But now that we actually have ryes in the house, maybe after we get done with these this evening, we can have a rye Manhattan.
Sounds great.
Yeah.
Along those lines, a lot of folks will actually tell you that they make their cocktails out of rye. They say it enhances the flavor. So I've actually been thinking about that for the last couple of days, thinking that, you know, especially with those Manhattans, I can't even imagine enhancing that any more than what is already there, but I'm anxious to see what it does to them.
Yeah. So I'm anxious for you to try it because, you know, the Manhattans you're used to, you put in some simple syrup and make them sweet.
Right.
Where the classic one does not have the simple
Yep,
syrup. And
that's
so I think that I'm anxious for you to like the classic ones because, one, less calories. A little bit healthier for you. Mm-hmm. If a cocktail can be healthy, it'll be a little bit healthier for you. Okay, so I believe you have a guest coming later this week.
We actually have
To make a cocktail.
we have a couple guests coming this week.
Yeah.
Tomorrow we're starting with a surprise cocktail, I believe.
Yeah, we don't know what it is.
We're not sure. It's our friend Josh is coming, and he is bringing his cocktail recipe. Little scared, but not really. So, and then Tuesday,
Later this week, yeah. Tuesday, I think. Later this
yeah,
week. We're gonna do
tentatively,
Tequila tasting.
tequila tasting.
I'm excited to break those out for you guys.
And we're legal with that because all tequila is aged in a cask. So,
Yeah. It's not about being legal. I mean, really, we're here to enjoy this. And I mean,
Well, I know we are.
that's why we named it Cask, so we could do various things.
And then somewhere down the road, in the far, far future, far, far future,
By the end of the week, maybe.
what do you got in mind?
We have a blind tasting of 4 bourbons under $25 to see which one comes in first.
Exactly. Yeah. So, and they aren't, I mean, it's not stuff that you haven't heard of. So,
Yeah, easy to find bourbons, all under $25 here in Ohio. So we can see which ones comes in first. One of them, because I picked these out this weekend, one of them happens to be one of your favorites. So we're going to see if you can identify that in the under $25 category.
we'll see. It is. And that favorite she's talking about, believe it or not, is a Bulleit Orange.
Yeah.
Comes in under $25 for a 750 ml bottle, which is totally hard to believe. I mean, that blows my mind that bottle is less than $25. So I think that's about everything we needed to cover tonight.
It is.
If you could hit that subscribe button, guys, we'd really appreciate that.
Yep.
Give us a like. And I think until next time, we're going to wrap it up for the night.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, guys.